Let's quickly walk through the architecture of Claude Code. Think about a developer sitting at their desk working on a web application. They pause and think, it's time to add Google Login for our users. They open their IDs and type, add Google Login to this app. That one line sets an entire intelligent system into motion. Claude scaled architecture working end to plan, execute, and deliver that feature. Let's follow how it all unfolds. The request starts right where the developer is, that is, the user interface layer. Maybe they're typing inside their IDE plugin, running the Claude CLI, or even using the GitHub app by commenting on a pull request. Regardless of how it begins, the interface captures the developer's intent and sends it to the next layer. That is, the core application layer. From this moment, Claude Code begins orchestrating what needs to happen behind the scenes. Now the request reaches to the core application layer and it reads the command, breaks it down, and decides what happens next. The core doesn't execute the task directly. It coordinates. It recognizes that this isn't just a text command. It's a multi-step development process. You will need to design an authentication flow. For example, set up auth with Google, update backend routes, add front-end login components, and finally, test and commit those changes. To make that plan possible, the core reaches out to the AI integration layer. That part responsible for understanding, reasoning, and turning plain language into executable steps. Now, the AI integration layer takes over. It connects to Claude or the supported large language models, such as Claude on Bedrock or Vertex AI or OpenAI, or the model that the developer has chosen and configured to continue with. The AI starts reasoning. To add Google Login, I will need to modify authentication logic, configure auth, and update the front-end UI. It outlines a structured plan. Check existing authentication framework, integrate Google Auth credentials, update login components, and add environment variables to configure. Commit the updates, but then, to do this correctly, it needs project-specific context. It has to know how the app is structured, what frameworks are used already, and what coding conventions to follow. That's when the code application layer connects to data and storage layer. The data and storage layer provides the awareness that makes Claude Code feel intelligent. It loads the configuration files, understanding how authentication is handled. It retrieves the session state, remembering what the developer and Claude Code have already discussed in this session. It accesses conversation logs to maintain continuity and context, ensuring consistency between past and present work. And it taps into cached context, recalling what's already been analyzed in Codebase, saving time and avoiding redundant lookups. Armed with this knowledge, the AI now fully understands the project's architecture and can confidently begin implementing the feature. Once the plan and context are aligned, the code instructs. The next major subsystem is the tool systems to act. The tool system is where Claude Code's intelligence meets execution. It uses search tools to locate relevant files, scanning for auth, login, or auth references. It opens those files with file tools, edits them to include the Google authentication logic, and saves the changes. Next, it triggers bash command to install any missing dependencies and run unit tests. If design documents or specifications are available through MCP tool, it can even verify UI consistency before finalizing changes. Everything is happening automatically, but precisely step by step, like a developer following best practices with incredible speed. When all changes are complete and validated, the tool system hands off control to the final piece of puzzle. That is external service layer. If at all, it needs to connect to the external services. For example, now the code is ready and you want to push it to your GitHub. So Claude Code connects with the real development environment through external services. It can stage the changes in Git, create a new branch-like feature, Google login, and commits the updates. It may even push the branch to repository triggering the CI-CD pipeline. Or, if integrated with GitHub app, it can even open a pull request with a clear summary of what was implemented. From here, developers simply reviews, merge, and even deploy changes, all without manually handling dozens of routine tasks. Once the feature is delivered, the story doesn't end. The core updates the session, ensuring the entire interaction is remembered. The data layer caches the new structure. Now, Claude Code understands that this project includes Google login. So next time the developer asks to add GitHub login too, Claude Code won't start from scratch. It will instantly build upon what it already knows,